So somewhere 10 minutes in or so.
Yep.
What's happening, everybody? I'm getting the on-air sign, which means we're live with the amazingly talented Mr. Tim Miller, professor of Berkeley music. And it's great to have you, Tim. And what do you
Thanks,
have in your
Jeff.
hands? What is that?
Well, we have a new M6 signature model. Look at that. The semi-hollow headless
Damn.
guitar.
It's looking sexy, buddy. I love it. So
I'm loving it.
Tim came out here. We started this project, about 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And we've been through several revisions, and it's a ground up, wasn't based off of anything, which when we do models, a lot of times they're based on something. This was based off of, needing something that, you liked our guitars, but you're having some trouble really getting them to gel exactly perfectly into what you do, with your style. And so, that's how Tim approached me. And we created this together, and it took some time, and you came out once and stayed with us, and that was awesome. We had a great time. But it was such a neat outcome. But I'll let you talk about a little bit of that, and why this is special to you. Or Brandon, do you think we should wait a little bit for more people to get in here, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd wait a little bit for more people to get in here, and then maybe play the video.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. So you want to play that now?
Oh, I was going to say you can talk about it for a little bit, and then I'll get the video going.
Yeah,
Oh,
cool.
got it. Okay.
So I, was playing the Zeus for a long time, and I love that guitar, and will always love that guitar. It's an amazing guitar. I just, was talking to Jeff about, figuring out a way to, to make a semi-hollow guitar happen, because I was playing the SH550, which I still play all the time, and the Zeus. I was like, if we could somehow combine some of the aspects of both of these guitars together to create something new, it would be amazing. So we started talking about it, and also decided that 22 frets was going to be something that was really important to me for the neck pickup tone. So we decided to go with a 22 fret, semi-hollow, and it's kind of a semi-hollow chambered hybrid, as Jeff was calling it, because it's definitely hollow in there, but it's just solid enough so you can crank it up with distortion sounds and in high volume and not get feedback with it. But some other things about the guitar is that one of the things that I was really looking for was something with a little bit more arm support. And what we did was, what Jeff so beautifully did with this is he just kind of brought the guitar out a little bit more than a traditional headless guitar. And so you get a little bit more wood there to rest your arm on. So that was a really big deal. So kind of the combination of semi-hollow, a little bit more support, a little bit bigger, and 22 frets, and here we have it.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, you guys, most of you aren't playing the kind of amount of time Tim is. So, Tim, what do you play, being as, your job and your passion is guitar? What are you playing on an average day? And then on an extreme day, how long are you playing guitar?
I mean, it depends on what I'm doing in the day. If I'm teaching at Berkeley, it can be, holding a guitar for up to 7-8 hours, that'll be like the longest, time. If I'm recording, it's kind of, on and off. But yeah, I would say anywhere between 2 and 8 hours a day, I'm doing something with the guitar.
Yeah, and that's why this was so important, to really get it right. And my stress to Tim, I kept telling him, Tim, I do not want you to settle, and I want to get this right. I want you to see the guitar, want to pick it up, want to play it, and only play it. And, that's part of what took so long, is because of Tim's particular need. And Tim, how tall are you, for those that haven't seen you in the flesh?
Yeah, I'm 6'4", so I'm pretty tall.
So that's also part of the extra arm, area on this drop top on this guitar. It's a bent area, is because Tim's height. You know, we really needed to get that out there. You know, where the Zeus is still a very comfortable guitar and it's going to, you know, accommodate the majority of the masses. And then working on something to try to get the semi-hollow, you know, we really had to extend the top, you know, this way to give Tim more room to really get his arm there. So he's not getting the fatigue. You know, you're getting a little bit of fatigue, I think, in your wrist and in your shoulder, if I remember right. Those were the two kind of areas, right?
Yeah, a little bit, and so by bringing that out a little bit, and the bent top just kind of solves that. So it's fantastic. We also did the you know, the custom strap locations too,
Yeah, to get that
which really,
balance.
yeah, to get that balance. So and Jeff made this like amazing you know, neck carve here, which was so cool. So we could put the strap button kind of the perfect position. So that was another really great part of this, you know, design. I think it's a really subtle thing, but it makes such a huge difference when I'm standing. Because when I'm standing here with a strap, it doesn't ever neck dive, and it doesn't go up in any kind of awkward way. So
Yeah,
it's
and when we
great.
were messing with it here, we had drilled a bunch of different holes on the backside of the prototype, and we were
Right.
putting the strap, like Tim had it on, and I'd take the drill and move it, and then, well, that
Yeah.
feels pretty good. Well, let's move it to the next hole, and we just kept moving, and got it right where it is, and it's programmed into the damn CNC machine, so it's
Yeah.
going in the same spot every single time. But I think we have a video queued up. Brandon, are you ready with that video?
Yep, I'll
Okay,
start that
let's go
now.
ahead and start that video. You guys can see a short little video, and then we'll be right back with you.
Hi, this is Tim Miller, and this is my new signature model guitar for Kiesel Custom Guitars. This guitar is a semi-hollow chambered hybrid design. So you get all of the airiness and the acoustic volume of a semi-hollow, but it's just solid enough so that you don't get feedback at higher volumes and with distorted tones. I chose 22 frets for this guitar, as I prefer the neck pickup tone on a 22 fret guitar. So just by bringing that pickup a little bit, you know, this way, to me it gives it a little bit of a warmer sound. We have a neck through body construction, and this gives me a nice smooth neck heel and added sustain. I chose Kiesel beryllium pickups for this model. These are medium output Alnico 2 pickups that are a perfect match for this type of guitar. We have custom strap button locations. We wanted to achieve perfect balance while standing with a strap, so we made the button come up a little bit here, and Jeff made me a custom neck carve here to allow for the perfect placement of the strap button. One aspect of this guitar is the addition of extra arm support. So we added more wood in this area of the guitar to give your arm just a little bit more, you know, wood to rest on when you're playing. So it also has a bent top as well, which adds to the comfort. I love the way semi-hollow guitars sound with distorted tones and clean tones. So I really wanted to get that kind of airy sound into a headless design so I could have the balance, the ergonomics, you know, the portability, the tuning stability of a headless guitar, but I could also have that airiness and that acoustic quality and the dynamics that you get from a semi-hollow design. Working with Kiesel guitars on this M6 signature model project has been an incredible experience. I think we came up with an amazing guitar, a very unique guitar that's fun to play and has a great tone. So I hope that you have as much fun playing it as I do.
All right, we're back.
That's awesome. And Tim did that video himself, did such a great job. So that, you know, obviously helps us a lot, him being able to do such an amazing job recording and putting together a video that we're like, wow, this is perfect. We don't need to do anything. let's go. So that was awesome. And we did have a lot of fun doing this project together. You know, of course, like anything, you put the work in and you get the results. And, you know, there was a lot of work that had to go into this guitar because it was a ground up and we had different styles, and I was shipping Tim prototypes and shipping him different guitars, and we tried different scale lengths. I mean, we tried a lot of stuff, and this is what we ended up settling with.
Yeah, we did. And you know, that's one of the things I love about you so much, Jeff, is that you just really want to do it right. And you're willing to do it, you know, and you kind of went the extra mile on this project. And I think it was worth it because, like, as you said all along, you know, we're just, let's not settle. Let's go until it's right, you know, and you did, and you made a bunch of prototypes. And one of the things that impressed me so much is just how meticulous you are, you know, when you're working in the factory, and how focused you are too. I mean, we spent some days here in the factory, and it was just like, you're such a clear listener, and wow, when we were trying to do something, you were just like back and forth, and it was really fun and inspiring too, man.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean, I had a great time working with you on this. It was a lot of fun. It was a much needed guitar. I mean, we have people asking us all the time for a semi-hollow, headless, something 22 frets, and
Yeah.
we hadn't done anything like this ever before. And I mean, what better person to do this project with than you? So it was an honor for me to be able to do it. And, you know, I felt like, you know, I really need to do good by this and do this guitar justice. And I'm stoked on it. I love the way it looks. We had different renditions, and some that I even, cut some things and tried some things. Some of them were pretty hideous, but, you know, and I had your Klein at one point to, you know, kind of check out and see what was comfortable for you at one point. And I had some guitars that you cut up too, here that you had shipped me. And so that helped. And, you know, and part of the reason why this took longer than it really needed to was we were going through COVID, and, you know, there was, you know, lack of traveling. You were busy, I was busy. And then that finally opened up, and we've been done with this guitar now. I want to say, what did you come out here? Was it March you came out here?
That was, I think it was beginning of May. Yeah.
Oh, okay, it was beginning of May.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we were
Late April.
Yeah, and we were done with this shortly after. So this guitar's been done now for about 4 or 5 months, and just, you know, working on all the content and stuff for it. So I'm excited, and I can't wait for customers to see it. I'm going to show off a few of them here. You guys can see this. I'm going to pull it back so you can see some of the lighting on it. If I can get the lighting, very good. An aqua burst with a bird's eye board. And then, of course, neck through. These are going to come with a mahogany body and a flame maple top standard. As Tim mentioned, they are a semi-hollow chambered hybrid. And what that means is exactly what Tim said. You're going to get a lot of the tones you want out of a semi-hollow guitar, but you're not going to be so prone to feedback. So it's not a true semi-hollow, but it's definitely a lot more aggressive than a normal chambered guitar. We have the sound hole that Tim had drawn something very similar to give me a reference point, and we just, you know, kind of made it work. I think Tim originally had more of a like a diamond shape, or was it still crescent, more like this? I don't remember what your original drawing was.
I don't really remember, but when you did this, I was like, oh, that's perfect. Like you did it way better than what I
Oh, well, thank
drew.
you.
So yeah.
So yeah, it was just
Beautiful.
neat to be able to do is get the knobs in the right positions that is for your playing style. And you can see this one here. Let me pull it back, get some lighting. Reds never show up very good on camera, do they? Jeez. Yeah, this one's like not even showing up. Is it showing up over there? I guess it shows up pretty decent there for whatever reason. And then we got a purple
That was
one
beautiful.
tucked away down over here. I'll show you guys. Let me move it, maybe. Oh, gosh. it's one thing, like I can actually see myself in camera, but yeah, I can't get good lighting on this one at all to save my life. Yeah, it just looks black. That's the problem with purple guitars sometimes. If I go around this way, oh, there you go, a little bit. You can kind of see the purple, but beautiful with the pale moon ebony board. And you got a nice mahogany body, walnut, and purple heart neck. There's a lot of options you can still get on this guitar, but it does come pretty loaded. You know, with the beryllium pickups, bezel mounted. Tim wanted that. Does change the tone. Does give you more of that jazzy type of sound. And the guitar base price is $22.49, but again, you're getting so much for that. Flame maple top, rear natural clear mahogany, neck through construction. So just so many standard options. And then of course it's chambered, you know, the chambered semi-hollow standard with the little, decorative sound hole. So definitely cool. And I think at this point we should probably touch on our big Kiesel Connect event that's coming up. And Tim is going to be playing at that and performing, and he's doing what we would call like a master class. So the spots are already full. They filled up right away. But you could still come and see Tim in person. Tim will still be here for the event. Come see his model. We'll have some in the showroom so you could try him out, and even place an order for one that same day. But Connect, we did add some order appointment windows on Friday because we filled up Saturday. We have, I think, like 36 order appointments confirmed and full for Saturday. When you guys are selecting an order appointment, I just want to touch on this. Make sure you have your specs and you're ready. You have a few questions, but if you're trying to do a ground up build, you don't know what you want, it's not going to happen in a half hour. And that's all we have for you start to finish for each appointment because the next person's waiting in line. So there's going to be a lot of people. There's over 500 people registered for Connect. It's going to be a big, successful event. We're excited. We have exclusive merch for the event, and it's going to be neat. And we're going to treat it a lot like NAMM, where we have guitars that you guys could buy right there and take home with you. So that'll be really, really cool. Showroom will be open. We're limiting the number of people in there, and we have a lot of bands. So if you don't know what this event is, kieselconnect.com, check it out. That's all I'm going to mention about that. And I think now, if you don't have anything to add, Tim, I think maybe we should open up for some questions. Or do you have anything to close with the model? Or not close like we're getting off, but do you have anything to add for your model?
Well, I think that I really think this model is going to appeal to a lot of people who want a headless guitar, but want 22 frets and want something a little more resonant, I think. Like a semi-hollow guitar. I think a lot of people want this kind of thing in a headless guitar. So I think it's designed for me, but one thing I wanted to get across is that while we were designing it, I was also just trying to think of also the customer too, who's going to buy it, and just thinking about what people would like in a guitar like this. I know what I want, and I this is what I want. But I do think that this is going to appeal to a lot of people who like to play distorted, like to play clean, like to play sometimes unplugged at home. You know what I mean? You get a lot of sound out of the guitar. So I think it's really cool. I want to just throw that in there.
That's awesome. And I mean, obviously you have a lot of experience dealing with a lot of guitar players.
Yeah.
And all styles of guitar players, So I mean, your experience that you brought to this was amazing.
I also think just teaching at Berkeley, I see everybody kind of like just from practical standpoint, I see a lot of people like taking like skateboards to class and like riding bikes and things like that. I'm just thinking, if you just had one of these, a headless guitar, a little guitar in a little bag, it would make, just like for student guitar, I think, taking it around classes and stuff, I think it's a super cool thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we open up for some questions? So let's see what you guys want to know.
All right, first two questions. 7-string option available and Trenum option available.
It would be a negative on both. Just really working with this model and trying to maximize everything. The trem wasn't going to be an option, and I don't know that Tim. Have you ever really messed with the 7-string at all, or?
Yeah, I don't play 7-string, although that doesn't mean I never will, because I'm always, looking for new avenues. But currently, I don't play a 7-string, so that's not on my radar right now. And in terms of the trem, I just really prefer having that fixed bridge. I really love the stability of the fixed bridge. The tremolo stays in tune great, but I just love having that like rock solid tuning thing. So really like the fixed bridge.
Will there be an option for HSS in the future?
No plans to do that. A lot of this sound is, driven by the neck humbucker, and I just don't see throwing a single coil in there unless that was something, Tim, really thought we needed. But I feel like a lot of the sound in this particular style that we're going for, you need that, bezel mounted humbucker in the neck, and that's why, 22 frets was so important. As Tim said, you push that pickup further up the neck. And as you do that, you fatten that sound and you just get this warmth that you cannot get from a 24 fret. So really, this isn't the guitar to get you your super strat type of sound. And we have, take a look at our HD or headless Delos. It's the perfect guitar for an HSS.
Adding to that, when we were talking about the controls for this guitar and the switching, at first I was thinking about, maybe we'll just go with a 3-way, and we had that on one of the prototypes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put this 5-way on one of the prototypes with the single coil stuff in the middle. And at first I wasn't sure if I would use it. As it turns out, I was talking to Brandon recently, and I was just telling him, the second position where you split the humbucker sounds really great with overdrive. It's almost like my my sort of like cut. So I'll have like full distortion here, and then for the second position, it's almost like a slight cut, and it gets single coily sounding, but it's a really great way to back off the gain. So I've been using that a ton actually, and the next position where you have, I believe that was like the
it's the 2 inner coils.
Okay, so that's another beautiful sound. Then it turns out that the third one sounds great too. So if you're playing clean, that's a little more of a single coily sound. I don't use it as much clean. I use it a little more with maybe an overdrive tone when I don't want so much gain on the neck pickup. So to your point about the single coils, we do have some options in there with this 5-way switch too.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Tim said, you get that center position, and with the inner coils being split like that, you still get full humbucking. So you don't have any noise, and it does give you a different tone. I mean, you're not going to get that true Strat style sound, but it does give you the pickup options, which is so important.
Yeah. I really like I really like the bridge split and the neck split. I'm using those a lot, so that'll
awesome.
come in handy to utilize.
Someone's asking, is there no Strat buttons?
Yeah, so there's a Strat button. You got one right here. So as you're holding it, it's right here, and you can still get access to tune your guitar. And then the Strat button is right on the back of the heel, out of the way. See that right there? So it's sculpted and located by our CNC machine, and that gives Tim the perfect balance, and anybody that's playing the guitar, really the ideal balance intended for this guitar based off of the design, the construction, the semi-hollow chambered hybrid construction.
So yeah, and for me, that was a really big part of this because when the strap buttons are in the wrong location for me, sometimes I just feel really uncomfortable playing. It's a big deal to get it in the right place. So one thing that I have noticed for myself, it's just a personal thing, but if I put the button here, Some people really like that, and it brings the guitar out a little bit more like this. When you put the strap button here, for me, it just brings it a little bit out this way, and just the way I like to kind of hold my fretting hand, it just kind of gets me at an angle that makes it easier for me to play. So there's that aspect as well.
How is the clean tone on this guitar?
It's great. Yeah, I mean you've got the five pickup options. A lot of times I'm playing clean on the bridge pickup. A lot of times with my band, I'm straight bridge pickup. So I like to roll the tone back on the tone control to get that kind of tone if you're familiar with, my records. And if I'm playing clean tone with a neck pickup, I mean it's great. That's one of the reasons for the 22 frets. I love 24 fret guitars too. I love them. There's one right there. There's a SCB. That's a 24 fret guitar. Sounds great. But for this particular guitar, I thought the clean tone was enhanced with the 22, and also the Brilliant pickups. I've always been a fan of Alnico 2 magnets and humbuckers, and it turns out that Kiesel's got an Alnico 2 medium output pickup that sounds fantastic. So it's perfect for this guitar.
You're making my job easy, Tim. I'm just gonna sit back and get some popcorn, watch
Cool.
listen to Tim answer the questions. This is great.
What are the standard woods and options?
So standard is going to be a quarter sawn plain maple neck with dot inlays. Fretboards are pretty diverse. It's going to come with an ebony board would be the default, but not necessarily standard. Mahogany body. That's genuine Honduran mahogany, not some mahogany wood that people just call mahogany because it's the same color. This is really real mahogany that actually has great tonal properties. And then it's capped off with a flame maple top, and it has a rear natural clear, which means when you get a finish on it and you hold it to the side or you flip it around, you're going to see everything natural on the back. It's got a tung oil finish on the back of the neck, which allows the neck to play smooth and effortless. And then it's got a semi-hollow chambered hybrid design, and that's one of the reasons why we have to put a top on it. And man, what better combination than mahogany and flame maple? I mean, it's like a tone monster. So those are your standards for this guitar. And again, neck through construction.
Is there an option to delete the F hole?
There's not, but if you called in and you wanted to prepay the guitar and no chance for a refund, I could do that for you. Not a problem.
Did I already ask the question about scaling? Because there's been a lot of questions coming up about scaling.
I don't think we did. It's a 25 and a half, 22 fret. And we did play around with that. We went as low as 24 and 3/4. We went 25, and we ended up settling back on 25 and a half. And we tried actually a model with almost an identical body, but with a headstock. I mean, we tried a lot of stuff, and we ended back up with this. And it was, because Tim is so tall. Tim is 6'4". He's a big guy, and so that was one option was putting a headstock on it. And it just, once we took the headstock off, he liked it better. It balanced better. It looked better. And here we are,
Is this going to be available left-handed?
I don't know about that. I don't really see why not, but all left-handed guitars are prepaid and non-returnable at this point. We've decided to not take any orders unless we don't end up with them. I was getting left-handed customers putting down 20% and then walking away from the guitar, losing their 20%, but then I'm stuck with a guitar that I would try to sell to 3% of the population, or my customers are 3% left-handed sales-wise. So if you threw down your money and bought one, sure, we can make a program for you, but there's no way you're returning that thing because it's prepaid, and I'm not taking it back. Just like any left-handed Kiesel at this point, I don't charge extra, but I don't allow refunds on left-handeds.
We've got our buddy Alex Sill in here. He says he's stoked to see this and try one out. Would this axe be structurally or sonically comparable to something like a headless Fat Boy, or is it more in the range of a 335?
You know, it's really neither, to be honest with you. What's up, Alex, by the way? I can't wait to see you with one of these. That's going to be amazing. Just the way you play, and it's just awesome. So it'd be a great thing to see. It's different. Where the Holdsworth Fat Boy had like a kind of like a floating I-beam style construction, and a 335, being an arch top and a lot of space. This is really like nothing that exists that I'm aware of. It's really kind of something that we created, and it has its own very unique, amazing sound to it. I feel like you're getting the best of everything without having the risk and worry of getting that excessive feedback.
Is there going to be a piezo option for this model?
No plans for that, no.
Can we get
a lot of people think that I use a piezo. I actually, in order to get that acoustic sound that I do on my records, what I do is I put a microphone close to the guitar. So that's another kind of reason that I wanted it more hollow, is that, when I'm recording, I'll put that mic right there, and then I kind of track the electric track and the acoustic track together, and then we mix it post-production to get that sound. So I don't really need a piezo on my signature model. That's why we didn't put it in there.
And when you do get the piezo, you are giving up something too. The saddles themselves, they're not as solid, because we have to put elements in there, and so they're a composite saddle, and so you do lose a little bit of that natural sound, and so we didn't want to have any sacrifice to the true sound of the guitar.
And you want to be able to fit a tone knob in that cavity.
That's true too. I didn't even think about that, Brandon. Yeah, if you flip this guy around, you can see how small this is, this cavity plate, and we would not be able to fit really any more in there. That's a great
I
point.
also wanted, like a really simple guitar with no batteries too. I mean, I just from playing for so many years and playing so many gigs, it's really great to have your volume, your tone, 5-way done. I just think it's so practical, so straightforward, and so versatile at the same time.
Is there an option to get this without pickup rings?
There is not. No, this is a pickup ring mounted guitar. We cannot mount the pickups directly. And, in doing so, you would really change the tone of the guitar, and that's not what this is intended for. So if you're buying it just for the looks, I get it. It is a really, really sharp looking guitar, but it wouldn't sound the same with direct mounted pickups. You want the bezel mounted pickups for what this guitar is. You really want that.
Is there going to be a P90 option?
No plans for that. P90s don't have bezels that I'm aware of, and that's not what Tim's into. I mean, he really likes the Alnico 2 beryllium pickups. So, like any other signature model, our root point of the signature model is to get the artist not only the sound they want in the pickups, but also the feel. And sometimes with a custom shape like Tim needed a custom shape really, and it made sense, all of his points. And that's why we went down this project pathway to really get Tim something that he would be able to play forever, and that was the goal with Tim.
When is this model going live on the builder?
Should be live now. My webmaster was going to push it live at 3:15. The model is the M6, the Miller 6. We didn't use the T M because we have the Thanos multi-scale. So, and I figured, man, we have the Holdsworth. It's just H. Tim's playing. I mean, he's right there with Alan. So why not call it the M6? So, and Tim will be like very modest. I know Tim, but man, I mean, you watch Tim play, it is jaw dropping. I mean, you look up some of the, progressive metal heroes nowadays, they've all taken lessons from Tim. They all are like, holy shit, Tim Miller. I mean, name a few. I mean, like you got Tosin, Aaron Marshall. These guys, you know, they know Tim and you know, they look up to him. You know, Tim is an amazing, very well respected player, and it's an honor to have him.
Well, you know, it's thank you, Jeff. It's a real honor to have this with Kiesel. You know, I've been such a huge fan of the company ever since Carvin. You know, I mean, I was getting those catalogs when I was a teenager. You know, you would send out and I would look through them, and I was, you know, always excited in watching the company progress through all these years. And then, and you mentioned Alan and Frank Umbali, you know, two of my biggest heroes. You know, having signature models, to be able to have a signature model along with two of my biggest heroes is it's a real honor. So,
that's awesome.
You know, thanks. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Will this model be available for Kiesel Connect? Will there be any in stock to buy right away?
I'm not sure on that one. Potentially. I know this one is not being sold. This is going to go on the wall in the showroom. And we do have a section of all of our signature artists, and we have their signature models next to each one. And it's going to stay like that. Those guitars will not sell. We're not going to sell them. I know there is one destined for a pretty awesome person. We'll be sending that out, and so that would leave us with a couple. So potentially, I don't know, to be honest.
Tim, what was your reasoning behind going neck through, since the Zeus is a bolt-on and the SH550 is a set neck?
So I like all of them. I like bolt-on necks. I like set necks, and neck throughs as well. Neck through is something that Jeff suggested to me when we were doing this. He was like, you know, Tim, I think you're going to love the neck through. We should try it. And I said, great. Because I said, maybe we should do a set neck with this. And he said, cool, but let's try the, you know, let's do that. So, you know, Jeff knows a lot about building guitars. So, in guitar tone. So I was like, let's check it out. So when I got the first set, the first neck through prototype, I was like, man, this is fantastic. And it was just basically an organic thing. It was a suggestion from Jeff, and I loved it, and we went with it.
And the good thing about the neck through is it gives the better access, gives the ability for us to put the strap button in the right location, you know, and with a bolt on, you know, they're still great. And we did build this as a bolt-on, so Tim could pick between bolt-on or the neck through. And, you know, he was just so excited about it. We didn't really see the point in, you know, building a set neck version of the guitar because the access is so amazing on this. So you do gain that, and it wouldn't be as good with the set neck. It just flat out won't be as good. So that was also another concern. It's just so comfortable. Neck throughs are just, I mean,
it's great.
Yeah,
it's really great.
If you can get away with a neck through, and you can get the sound you want, I mean, there's really kind of no reason why you would want to play, you know, anything else aside from if you ever had, you know, a different neck you wanted to put on it, if you could buy a different neck, which we don't sell replacement necks or different, you know, extra necks. I mean, that would be the only thing I could see as a benefit to a bolt-on, but I've always been a huge neck through fan. So anytime someone's interested in one of those, I'm like, I'm all for it.
It looks like you have, like, some of those that you have there are like the multi-piece necks too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you've got, is the red one or the other one? I can't remember which one you did.
So we have, this one has a multi-piece neck.
Yeah.
And this one's single piece. This one I think was multi-piece also. Yeah. Yeah, and they just look so good. 3-piece necks. I mean, I'm into all multi-piece necks, but they just look so good running through the body like that.
It's great. It's amazing.
Will there be an option for me to pay a custom programming fee to get 24 3/4 scale length?
No. I mean, I would say, sure, $10,000. How about that? I mean, honestly, like the amount of work we have to go through. I mean, I know it sounds crazy to you, but you know, we would do custom programming. Like if we're moving pickups around, it's pretty quick and pretty easy. We typically do $500 for something like that. But when you're getting into scale links, I mean, the whole body shape has to change. And so at that point, I'm hand making the guitar, you know, because we're not going to program it in. And I mean, it's so much work. It's not what it sounds like. And, you know, I mean, the reason why we're so affordable is because we're efficient. And the moment you take us out of our efficiency, we're going to bleed out. I mean, I can't do stuff, you know, that is so involved in stopping the flow here. You know, we're a 60-person operation, you know, payrolls is high here, you know, and that's a big cost, and we got to, you know, stay efficient, and that's how we're affordable. And the moment you get us out of that, where it's, you know, truly hand making something, and I'm walking back there and making sure all the steps go in a certain way, and then laying everything out and measuring everything out, it gets expensive. So yeah, we're not going to be doing custom scaling. So when I say 10 grand, you'd have to really make it worth my while for me to even consider it. Like if the company's not going to make good money on it, I wouldn't want to do it. And honestly, for 2,500, we'd lose money if that's what we charge to do a custom scale length option.
Yeah, we tried the different scale lengths, and I preferred this one.
Yeah. And there's just something about that extra tension too, part of the sound.
Exactly.
I remember that. And, you know, with, you know, the size of your hands too, I know that was a help too.
Yeah, I like the way the chords sound too, with the slightly tighter tension. It just sounds great.
Yeah.
How is this model as a couch guitar?
What do you think,
Great.
Tim?
I play on the couch with it all the time. It's fantastic.
I haven't taken one home. I should get one of these home and, you know, get it up on my wall. So maybe I will take one of these. I don't have anything purple. Maybe I'll take that purple one. Actually, I do have a purple guitar. It's on the wall here, but
Is there an option to get a neck pickup only?
I don't see why not. You know, we would probably want to ditch the 5-way and do a push-pull to split the neck pickup. If you wanted to do something like that, it would be a paid in full up front. No refund, obviously, but I think we could accommodate that and just do a push-pull on the volume to split the coil of the neck pickup. What do you think about that, Tim? Be pretty cool to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there an option to order one of these with no top wood?
No, there's not. It's a chambered out guitar. It's a semi-hollow chambered. So for us to perform that, we have to put a top on it. And to get the sound that we were after, the flame maple top is going to give us that sound. You could order it a solid color. Like if you didn't want to see the wood and you wanted to order, like you just wanted it all black or, you know, white or whatever, we could still do that for you. But if we're going to cover up, you know, an exotic wood, you know, we'd ask you to prepay it, not return it, because not a lot of people are going to have a flame maple top and they're going to want to cover it. So if your concern is just aesthetics, we can accommodate that.
What is the finish on Tim's guitar called?
We did a honey burst on that guitar.
Tim's is an autumn burst.
Oh, is it autumn? I thought it was honey. So is that autumn too?
That one is honey burst edges.
Oh, okay.
Tim's is autumn burst.
Autumn, okay. All right, so they are slightly different. I didn't remember. You put the build in for Tim when we were in your office, and you added the binding effect when we put these in. I didn't put binding effect on any of these. So you can get that as an option, the binding effect, where you can see the natural wood binding on the one Tim's holding, where these ones are all painted all the way across. That's how they're going to come standard, and then you can always go over to that.
Yeah, they look amazing kind of both ways.
Yeah.
The ones you have over there look incredible.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, you've seen a few pictures, I guess, and Brandon had to send you some stuff for the videos and whatnot.
Yeah.
We got Jasco Plumbing in here. He says, I'm not a headless guy, but damn, I like this one.
That's awesome, brother. And your guitar, you have a roasted flame maple bodied K. Just got clear coated today, dude. It stopped me in my tracks. That thing is really, really hot looking. So I'm excited for you to see that. I hope you're coming to connect, man. I want to connect with you and meet you.
All right, we're about 45 minutes in, so let's do the last 3 questions. What is the starting price for this model?
The base price for this model is going to be $22.49, and it's going to come in a satin finish with a tung oil neck standard. And we are charging for our gloss finishes now. So as seen with these ones, they're going to come to $22.99, and you can pick from different colors and whatnot, different bursts and things like that. And they come loaded up with a lot of options.
Is it an option to get any of these in raw tone or a tung oil finish?
You know, it's not. We could definitely accommodate, I would say, a tung oil. That would probably be the best one to go with. I think you're going to be happier with a tung oil on this particular model.
Paul is asking, can we get jumbo frets on this guitar?
You know, the answer would be yes, but it'd make it non-returnable. So anything we're deviating from playability and sound, you know, tone, you know, pickups, things like that, are going to make the guitar non-returnable. We don't have them as options. So, of course, we are a custom shop. We will allow you guys to get other things, but, you know, we want to keep true to what this guitar is, you know, 14-inch fretboard radius, stainless medium jumbo frets. And if you want to change these particulars, it's not a problem, but it is going to make it your guitar. You know, meaning we've put together a package that we feel is going to give the most, cast the largest net and give us the best sound for what the guitar is. And you change one aspect of it, like, oh, I want a 10-inch fretboard radius and I want jumbo frets. Well, that's going to be really hard for us to resell. Most people aren't going to want that. Now, you want that. That's amazing. So we would sell that to you, but you'd prepay it and you could not return it. You know, you get the guitar and say, hey, I don't like it. It doesn't fit my body very good. Well, that's yours. That's your problem. You know, I don't want to get stuck with something that we deviate so much. Now, you keep within the specs allowed on the builder. We're confident you're going to, you know, the guitar is built and sounds and plays amazing for what this guitar is and the style it's intended for. And it's very versatile. Don't get me wrong. That's when you get a trial period on it. But you get out of these options and you might make the guitar into something that's not really quite that, and it makes it really hard for us to resell. So that's why sometimes we have limited options and then you want to change it and we're like, hey, that's no return. You're like, why? It's just different fret wire. It's the problem of us trying to take the guitar and resell it. That's the problem. And that's where we don't want to run into that issue. I mean, we are in business to you know, make people happy, and we try to do the best we can on that.
All right. I said 3, but I'll ask a couple more because there's a couple more questions. Let's see. Can I get a metal flake infused top on one of these models?
You cannot. We don't do any metal flake infusion on anything that has been chambered. And this is more than just chambered. So that would be no. You know, the answer would be no.
Any plans for a 24 fret option?
No. Yeah, it's a complete redesign. And, you know, this is what Tim was after, the 22 fret. I'm really excited to add this as a 22 fret. I think it's very needed. And I think that, like Tim said, the players that want this are going to be really excited. And I think we're going to sell a lot of these models. I'm excited to see them in the wild and see them rolling through the shop.
Yeah.
All right, here's the actual last one. Tim, do you prefer uncovered or covered pickups, and why?
I like both, actually. You know, I have some guitars, actually back there's 2 covered pickup, guitars. So I like them both. I think that well, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, my perception is that the covered pickups, maybe you just get a tiny bit less output, but that's what it feels like. But it's hard to know unless you put 2 pickups in the same guitar and, you know, A/B them. So it's really hard to know. But yeah, I'm just going to say I like both.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, when we've done testing, I mean, that's pretty much what it does is it lowers the output a little bit, which shifts the sound a little bit on the what you get out of the guitar, and that can be good, and that can be also maybe missed, and maybe you don't know you're missing it, or maybe that nails it perfectly. So they're both great. And I think that's it. So we have no more questions. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys to see this new model, to experiment with it on the builder, to build your very own and order your very own M6 guitar, and bringing you guys something new from the ground up with so much feedback and help from Tim. Just trying to get him exactly what he wanted. And man, I'm just so proud of this guitar. I'm so excited about it, and I hope you guys really love it too. And I think that's really it. Tim, where can they find out more about you and what you do?
That's timmillermusic.com, and then I'm on social media too, just Tim Miller Guitar. And I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of videos and stuff with this guitar coming real soon.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Tim, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. And if you guys couldn't tell, Tim is sick right now, but you can't even tell. He looks amazing and, getting through it. But anyway, thanks again for your time. And thank you guys all for watching. I hope you love the guitar, and I hope we're going to see you out here at Connect, and you get to see us all in person and hang out. So on that note, we're out. Thanks.